Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this August 26th version of AM Live on EOA. Your connection to Eastern Oregon, we're glad that you are here with us this morning. Hey, if you want to find our content, you can find it at eoa.network. That takes you to a link tree where you can find all of the locations, Facebook, YouTube, our Roku channel, our website, and then also where all of this ends up on Spotify and the other podcast networks. Love to have you with us and love to have you follow us. We're getting ready to start football season here in a bit. Kyle's going to talk about that here in a bit, but we like you being a part of us, and this is the place where you can find that. Here in just a bit, we are going to have Stu Spence, who is LeGrand's park and recreation dude. He has a better title than that, but a good friend of ours, and he'll be with us here in just a bit. How are you, man?
Good morning.
Doing all right?
Second Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
Doing good. I'm just
Good.
ready for fall to get kicked off, and I don't want the crappy weather that's going to come eventually, but
Yeah.
I like fall sports.
Yeah, the weather is weird right now, isn't it? I mean, I think that haze and stuff was really hazy on Sunday.
That's from fires.
Yeah.
It's-
Are there some local or
There's
close?
got to be something fairly close.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
But we've seen smoke like that from fires in like Canada before. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it
Yeah.
just depends. I thought somebody was saying that there is one kind of close. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure there's definitely fires in Oregon.
But yeah.
It's just that time of year, but I don't know what the closest one is. That I know one of the wrestler girls got called out on a fire, and she was going to Pendleton, but that could have been where they were like
Taken
just
off from and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a home base or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're super fortunate. Just keep our fingers crossed that we don't have fires that impact us locally. So
Yeah, we haven't had a fire that's impacted us locally here, like outside of like accidents or like nothing close enough to since I've lived here.
yeah.
I mean,
No, they've had a couple of small things that could be extinguished within a half a day or something like that, but nothing serious for a long time. So which is
Thankfully.
just keep our fingers crossed. Yeah.
I mean, because if you go up Mount Emily, if you look, that's like man. I'll bet you that a fire loves that.
Well, and they talk about that all the time,
That's
and
crazy.
they did the county did kind of they did some harvesting at Mira. Maybe it's been a couple of years ago. And that was kind of controversial. Not kind of, it was controversial. But all of that was to create a defensible space. Unless you have a path that you can defend a fire line, then you got nothing to defend against. So,
Well, if you just walk around up there or drive around,
yeah.
the amount of slash that's on the ground that
Yeah.
is just dry and ready to explode is
Right.
unreal. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. You go out looking for mushrooms. I mean, it's perfect for mushrooms. There's
Yeah.
trees all over the ground, but
Yeah.
then it's so like I was thinking about it this year when I was up looking for morels. I'm like, man, if fire hit this, this whole thing'd be gone. Like,
Yeah.
that fast.
Yeah. I can't imagine the amount of work it would take, and we've talked about this, to go into a forest and keep it clean. I mean, and that's one of the reasons that it's so complicated to do, but
Well, I kind of feel like maybe around here, especially, they feel like they're so far behind that it would.
they don't even try.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
kind of get that feeling.
Yeah. Well, I don't, I certainly, I don't know. I don't know what the rationale is, but I know that it's complicated. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that'll say that fire's natural and it needs to happen, and that's nature's way of cleaning out
it
the
out,
forest. Yeah, which, I mean, I get that, but if you're, I mean, it's not natural if there's a house there, or, you know what I mean? Like, something that can burn up.
Yeah. Well, hey, want to do sports?
Let's do it.
All right.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. The Z-Cliner, man, the rest deeper with the Flex Steel Z-Cliner sleep chair. Designed for real sleep and full body support, it features zero gravity recline, cooling pillows, and easy care performance fabric. Find yours at Northwest Furniture and Mattress and wake up refreshed. If you show your ID card, you get it for a student up at EOU, you get an extra 10% off. Northwest Furniture and Mattress. They want to make you comfortable in your own home. Sports-wise, fall is getting ready to launch off. EOU volleyball went on the road, and they played 4 games, 2 of them against top 20 teams, 1 against a team receiving votes in Butte, Montana. They played Benedictine University. Oh, no, that's next week, sorry. They played all 4 of those teams. They won all 4. They only lost 1 set. Next week, they play Benedictine University, who's ranked, Northwest College, who's ranked number 7, and Concordia, who's ranked number 4 in the country. And they finish it off with a game against St. Mary in Omaha, Nebraska. This first stretch of games is always really tough for EOU, and right now they're sitting 4-0. The other big teams in the CCC lost this last weekend. Southern, who was ranked number 6 in the country, lost 2 games. Corbin, who was ranked number 3 in the country, lost the game. So it's looking good for the Mounties. They're proving that they are going to be a legit championship contender. Senior middle Kiana Mack had a huge weekend, tallying 28 blocks in the 4 games, on her way to CCC Defender of the Week, which that's not going to be the only one of those for her this year. I'll say it right now. This girl is going to be a first-team All-American this year. The EOU women's soccer team kicked off their season with a 4-0 win over Dort last week up at Community Stadium. Tess Sando was a huge part of the Mountie defense that shut out Dort while also adding a goal for her efforts. Sando was named CCC Defender of the Week. She had a header for a goal. I actually got a really good picture of it. And it was her birthday, too, so what a birthday, right? They host Doane this Friday at 11 a.m. up at Community Stadium. EOU football had a scrimmage versus Pacific Northwest Christian College. I kind of felt like it was weird. Like, it was listed as a scrimmage, but it wasn't really a scrimmage. I had numerous fans say, I thought they were having a football game. It was more like a workup. It didn't show me much. There was a lot of players that didn't play. We're still in a, who knows who's the quarterback. There's 3 guys that are vying for it, and everybody that I've talked to says they don't know who the number 1 guy is, and nobody really stood out between the 3 of them on Saturday. All 3 of them threw some balls. Who knows? I hope it's not like it was 3 years ago, though, before Quincy Glasper got here, where we start 7 different quarterbacks in one season, and they're not knowing who the starting quarterback is until Friday night, Saturday morning. That doesn't work well in my eyes. So hopefully they can get that ironed out and get somebody, as their QB1, so the players can develop some confidence in them. That's huge. EOU men's soccer routed BMCC in a scrimmage this last weekend, too. I took a bunch of pics of that. They're on our Facebook and our Instagram if you want to check them out. They host Whitman on Saturday the 30th at 6:30 right up here at Community Stadium, so go check it out. I have a ton of interviews coming, EOU women's soccer, EOU football, EOU volleyball, and both high school soccer teams. I'm ready. I'm ready for the fall, so I'm going to get these interviews out, and I got a special little thing that Benny put together with a kind of a synopsis of last fall that's going to come out with the first soccer interview. We're also streaming all of the high school football games for Pendleton, LeGrand, and Baker, the home games. And that's kicking off this Friday with Baker taking on Cascade at home at 7 p.m. right here on the EOA network. That's all I got on a Tuesday. AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Big Red Rocking Chair on Elm, off Adams in LeGrand.
All right. Good stuff, man. Thank you. Yep. And I like it when you get jacked up, man. We're into sports season, and
I'm ready.
You're ready.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready. I hope if football goes like it has in the past, I'm okay because I got girls soccer and women, and and volleyball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to pick me back up on those Saturdays and Fridays when
Yeah.
we lose.
Good.
So yeah.
All right, let's take a look outside. And weird day yesterday. It was kind of balmy and overcast. And let's take a look, Bennett, at that graphic and see what's in for today. So cloudy again. No, yeah, like partly cloudy today, I guess, right? Almost up to 90, so it's going to be hot, and then it's not getting very cool in the evening because the overcast is just kind of holding the heat in. And so then tomorrow and the rest of the week, I guess tomorrow's a little bit of a cool day, and then the rest of the week it's like high 80s. So kind of like where we're at. It'll clear up. It's going to clear up supposedly by Thursday, so that's good. All right, cool. Glad that you guys are here. Well, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Stu Spence from LeGrand Recreation Department. We'll be right back. Stu Spence, Parks and Recreation Director.
Morning.
Hey, how are you, man?
Good. Good morning.
Good. Glad you're here with us.
Yeah, it's great. Appreciate it.
How are things going, man?
Good. I have to tell a funny story about Kyle last year. So, the live stream. So, I have the Roku, I have the EOA Roku channel at my house.
Thank you.
So I tune in. And so last year, LeGrand's playing in Pendleton.
Oh,
and I'm on my couch, right? I'm watching the TV, EOA on TV. I was like, sweet, this is great. And so Kyle, I hear Doddsy say, "Oh, you can hear Stu in the crowd. I hear
Somebody
Stu."
sounded like
He did
you
sound
down there.
like you.
And I was like, Kyle, I'm on the couch.
The guy did sound like you,
Yeah.
though. I don't know who it was, but I mean, because I can usually just pick you out right away.
It was pretty
And
funny.
whoever it was, man, they were
Well,
loud.
Yeah, but who were they playing though? Were they playing?
It was
LeGrand?
LeGrand Pendleton, yeah.
Yeah, but and see, we're in the boxes.
Yeah.
And the boxes are right above the away crowd.
Oh, yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can't see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So we can't see, but
Yeah.
but we.
I just thought it was funny.
It was?
I'm watching it. I'm from the comfort of my couch, and I'm like, wait, he's dropping my name. Wait.
I wouldn't put it past you having like a megaphone blaster there, like sitting on your couch yelling.
Well,
Like, hey, hold your phone up so I can yell at you.
It's pretty funny.
well, and what's funny is that see, I'm in the van down below,
Yep.
and Kyle and I are having cars
Yep.
like,
Yep.
is that Stu down
Yep.
there? Can
Yep.
you hear? I mean,
Yeah,
so
that's great.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's funny.
Anyway, get the Roku channel. It works for me great, so love it.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
We'll make a
Shameless
reel out of
plug.
that. There you go.
it's good stuff.
Get the Roku channel.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah. So how's the rest of your life going?
Good. It's great. It's been a great, busy summer. We little thing called the Riverside Park Playground and a little thing called the Little League Tournament. So
Yeah.
there was a busy time there in the early summer.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not the same, but we have the volleyball tournament coming.
Right, the
Yeah.
1 and 2A, volleyball tournament. We just got the bid for that, so
That's the
EOU
yeah.
and the high school will host that, and
And they'll flip off.
We'll be
flip
up-
back and forth every year.
that's
1A
cool.
at the high school one
Yeah.
year, and then it goes to the EOU the next
Yeah.
year, and 2A will be at the high school.
Huge get for LeGrand. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a ton of people coming to town for that in November. November 7th and 8th, actually.
Yeah. How does that happen?
My mama's birthday.
Yeah.
Do we put in a bid for that?
Yeah.
I mean, how does that?
Yeah, I wasn't involved, but as I understand it, OSAA has a criteria you have to meet,
Yeah,
including...
you have to have a certain number of places available to stay.
Yep.
Certain, there's like
gyms,
rules. Yep.
also hospitality, who's going to take care of the referees, who's going to take care of the teams, all that. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So the volunteer committee, I think George Mendoza and Angie Weisenflew put together packages, and it was great.
Yeah. Well, and I'm involved in the LeGrand Rotary, and that's kind of how I first heard about it.
Yeah.
Is George said, "Hey, we're going to need help from volunteer organizations like Rotary."
Right.
And, yeah.
Right. It's going to be big.
Yeah, but going back to the Little League tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we hosted 44 teams at the regional Little League tournament. I know Kyle took a million pictures there. Really cool.
75,000.
Is that right? Whoo! It was. I mean, you were there. I was at the playground most of it at Riverside, but it was a packed house, and the park was crawling with people. I think people had a great time. It was an overwhelming success, and my crew really put in a lot of time and effort to get the ball fields ready. They look great, and I think we had a successful tournament. I think people went away thinking, "Wow, that was legit."
My recommendation for the future, and I've talked about this with Little League, we can make that tournament way shorter.
Yeah.
I mean, we could cram that into 4 days,
Yeah.
know, or 5 days, instead of stretching it out.
Big breaks.
It started on a Monday and ended on a Monday. You know what I mean?
There's a
Nobody
lot.
wants to stay that Monday after a whole week. You know what I mean? Like,
Get me out
get them
Sunday.
home.
Yeah.
Get them out on. You know, we
Yeah.
could make it a little shorter.
Yeah.
And still have the same amount of games
Yeah.
and the same amount of participation.
Yeah.
I think.
I think it's good for them to think about.
Yep.
yeah, you learn a lot when you do the event the first time.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they did. We just have the ball fields, right? We worked with them to make sure they were successful, but it was great. I think overall, lots of concessions, lots of happy kids, some crying kids, but that's the way a tournament goes.
Yeah. So how long have you been the
So,
Parks and Recreation
Wow.
director?
Thanks, Brent. I got 2014 April. I got here, so it's been 11 plus years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been great. Been on a pretty good run.
Yeah.
I can name off a lot of different projects and fun things that we've added, and my team has done an amazing job to make all that happen, and we've got some big grants to make things happen, and support from local service clubs and the community in general. Mm-hmm. Just incredible.
Yeah. What do you, and then let's just talk, I guess, recently. So tell us a little bit about the pump track, because that's a lot of people are like, what's a pump track? Yeah.
So it's going to show the graphic. Great. So the pump track, so this is at Pioneer Park next to the skate park. The pump track was envisioned by the Blue Mountain Single Track Trails Club and their volunteers. They came to us a few years ago and said, we'd like to build a pump track. And everybody said, what's a pump track?
Right, yeah.
Well, a pump track is basically an old BMX track, like the dirt humps, but it's paved. So you can do a variety of tricks. It's more sustainable. It's going to last longer. It's got banked corners, as you can see there. So the pump track is really, really popular with little kids that are just learning how to ride bikes, because it's designed where you start on the top and you can roll down and you'll have enough momentum to go to the top of the next bump, and then you can keep going. So that's kind of the premise behind it.
So in the bikes, it's some of those bikes these are little kids, and they don't even have pedals.
Right.
They're
right.
Yeah.
They're
kind of
strider
paddling
bikes,
their
I think
feet
is
along,
what they
right?
call it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's kind of designed for that. But what's cool about it is it's sort of multi-generational, because as you get maybe into your teenage years, you want to jump, so you can create jumps, and then into your 20s and 30s and more, you can. I've seen people of all ages down there doing fun tricks and just riding it, having a good time.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good example of, this is an organization that came to you guys and said,
That's a good point.
we want to find the funds.
Yep.
Can you provide the land, essentially?
That's exactly what happened. That's a great point.
Yeah.
They mobilized, they fundraised, they worked their tails off.
Right.
They wrote a grant in partnership with the city through the Oregon State Parks and Recreation Department, and received that, and was able to do it all on their own.
Right. And so then, from your standpoint, then from the Parks Department, you're like, okay, where are we going to put it, and how do we manage that? And then, how much management and maintenance is this going to take from us in the future, right?
Right, and the good news is they're so active that they've got a fund to help maintain it into the future.
Ah, okay.
So they have stayed involved.
Right.
And they have continued to volunteer to make improvements. We've got some landscaping still to finish up, some bark chips to spread around and things so the weeds don't come in. But really, they are still really actively involved. I just talked to them yesterday, one of the leads. He said that they're looking into sealing it, going into winter now, and it's good. It's great. It's a great partnership.
Well, and it's a perfect example, right, of a particular group that has a very specific interest.
Yeah.
And they initiated it, they're doing it, and so on and so forth. And this conversation, I mean, you and I talk all the time, but you were at Rotary a couple of weeks ago, and Rotary has maybe some interest in building some shelters or some stuff. It's our 100th anniversary coming up next year, and so there's some interest in doing something. And again, that's the kind of a partnership. So then, what could we build if this is something that we pursue? What kind of shelter could we build?
Right. Where do we put it?
Yeah,
How do we maintain it?
but again, it's a partnership. You guys aren't coming up with the money.
Yeah.
You're just kind of providing a path in order to get there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really great. Lots of groups come all the time and ask for different things. And my answer is always the same. Organize yourselves, come up with a proposal, come to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And then come up with a plan. I don't think the answer is ever no.
Yeah.
It's we'll see.
Yeah.
It's good.
So Parks and Recreation Commission. What is that? I mean, I don't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just so the city has, the budget committee, for example, or the planning commission. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission is an advisory commission to City Council. So any kind of like policy decisions or advice that I need in operations goes through them.
Okay.
So for something like the Riverside Playground, for example. I wasn't going to make the decision about if to tear the old one down myself. That would have been a bad position for me to be in.
Yeah.
So I run it through them. They deliberate and discuss and make a decision and a recommendation for staff and for council. And then we support that and work as a team to make things happen.
Yeah. And that's been a process that you guys, when did you start that process? Of evaluating the playground and
that was I think maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Or maybe 4. I don't know. I think it might be on the graphic or whatever when we show it. But it takes time. It was a few years back. There was a plank that fell out of the playground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it say the year? Nope, sure doesn't. That's all right. The fundraising efforts started after that. But there was an evaluation done to the old playground when a piece of it fell out. And it became very obvious that it was in disrepair.
Yeah.
And my crew inspects playgrounds regularly, and they noticed that there was some framing that was starting to lean, there were pieces that were falling out. And I engaged the previous committee that was in charge of building that 20 plus years ago, 4 years ago. Included Beth Wasley, Jeff Cruz, and others, Julie Kinnery. And these people were on the sign at the playground. And I just called them up, said, hey, why don't you guys meet me out here? Let's come up with a plan.
Right.
And most importantly, I wanted them to feel like they had a say because they put so much time and effort back then into it. I didn't want to just take the chainsaw out and say, well, sorry.
Right.
No, we engaged them. We had a long conversation. We had the company come out and evaluate it, and they told us that it maybe had 1 or 2 years left where we either had to repair or replace it. And the repairs were exponential compared to the replacement. Of course, it was cheaper, but it would have only lasted maybe another 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So it didn't make a lot of sense to spend a bunch of money to only get another 5 or 6 years.
Well, and something interesting information along the way that I've gathered is that it was that the original construction of that was made with wood that is not native to this area. I mean, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, southern yellow pine, I think is what it was. And company out of New York was hired to build it, and maybe that was native to there. But here in Eastern Oregon, I mean, it's wood anyway. It's
Right,
it's gonna
right.
fall apart
Right.
eventually. But also, it's just not hardwood, and it just fell apart over years. So 20, 22 years into it, it was in pretty bad disrepair.
Yeah. And then as when you were getting ready to take it down, I mean, talk about the affirmation that yes, we started to take it down right at the right time. Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll see that sliding in a little bit, but basically, once we put the excavator, we as in Becker Construction donated the excavation. Thank you, Mike Becker. They put the excavator on. Oh yeah, this is the shot. So as soon as the excavator pushed that tire swing, it crumbled to the ground. In other words, with a little bit of pressure, it was rotten in place. And there was also in the background, you can see kind of the towers. Those were leaning and splitting and really a safety hazard.
Yeah.
So I think we dodged a bullet. It was really close. And people were very passionate about this coming down and very upset on Facebook and other ways. And it was emotional for people. And I get it. I grew up on that playground, people would say.
Yeah.
And I'm sensitive to that. However, it's not safe for kids that are now kids. And
Right.
if you don't have kids, I'm sensitive to that. That was your playground, but things have to be safe and change.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that we did it in time where there were no accidents.
Well, and it was funny because, and I told you this the other day, that I was with my son the other day, and he's 33 now, and when I mentioned that the playground was being replaced or had been replaced, I mean his response was visceral. It was like what?
Why?
Yeah, what? How I mean, because he had an emotional attachment to being there, and
As a kid, of course.
Yeah.
No, I get it. It's hard, but on the flip side, how long ago was that when you were playing on that?
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But from the standpoint of a 32-year-old, that was just yesterday. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. So we have a little video that we shot. So you guys fundraised this. What was the total? I mean, give us a breakdown of the project again.
Yeah, so we had this committee that went out and solicited local donations. We had sponsorships from a bunch of companies and local donors. You can see the money there. Over $130,000 in local donations. This community is unbelievable in support. We wrote over $400,000 in grants. So, and some hotel tax dollars, which are what we call TRT, transient room taxes, went into this project and some general fund dollars. But of the project, it was about $700,000 total. And of the general fund, I think it was just over $100,000. And it was just, it's an incredible value for the taxpayers to have so much outside funding come and support of a project, including the grant funds from outside the community.
And a lot of people don't get that. I mean, they just don't. And when you tell me, if I'm standing there looking at it, it's like, what? $750,000, like, holy smokes, that's a lot of money, Right. But 2/3 of that is grant money, right? I mean, is that
Yeah.
I mean, that's
from outside the community,
right, and that's an amazing thing. That doesn't matter if it's a restoration of a building downtown or whatever the case might be.
Sure.
There are a lot of different projects that the city and the county does, whatever it might be, and even road projects,
Sure.
that where they'll throw in maybe a third, sometimes a half, whatever it might be, and it's matched by dollars from outside the community. And anytime that money comes in, man, that comes into the community.
Right.
It's invested here.
Right.
I mean, that's a big difference. So yeah.
Shout out to Public Works. They were doing a huge sidewalk project on Spruce right now.
Yeah.
It's almost done. That's Safe Routes to School funding.
Right.
It's not local
Right.
funding.
Right.
And it's a lot of money to put sidewalks in and ramps. I mean, that whole Spruce Street is getting remodeled with sidewalk. It's incredible what we do. I mean, for a small community, bringing those dollars.
Well, and I remember from Norm, the previous what's his
Director.
Norm Paulus,
Paulus,
Yeah, I mean, you'd like that 20th Street, 20th Street that goes by Mart and all of that reconstruction. I mean, that was 10 years in the works of the plans and then gathering money here and gathering money there. Those kinds of huge projects I mean,
Yeah,
it just
it's
takes an
incredible.
enormous amount of money. Yeah.
And this is different than a road project, but no different in
Right,
the fact that it
right.
takes a long time to plan
Right.
and a lot of money to raise,
Yeah.
and to your point, a lot of outside dollars that really invest in our community.
Yeah. Well, and people just they don't understand. I mean, they look at it and go, wow, why are we spending money on that? But in the context of that, you have to understand that in order to make that possible, it makes a difference in our lives.
Sure.
And that outside money, it makes a difference in our economy.
Absolutely.
Also,
And people are and will come from miles to visit that playground.
Right.
So while they're here, they're going to spend money.
Right.
It seems silly, but the Little League tournament brings a lot of people to town.
Yeah.
A playground like this is a destination for people in a smaller town or just passing by.
Yeah.
But they seek it out.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal.
Well, and yeah, good. All right. Well, hey, we did a video. Our interns, we had 3 interns this last summer.
Yeah, it was great.
And they just finished. And anyhow, and Bennett, with their guidance, they did a video. They were there. Let's roll that
I
real
almost
quick.
got trampled, but I didn't.
Did you? Yeah. So this is the day that it was open. Yeah. Our mics are not on, right, Bennett? They are on or not? Oh, okay, we are on. So yeah, so we can comment here.
Yeah, so just sort of thanking sponsors here, I believe, and volunteers, and we're about to cut the ribbon for this new playground, and the kids are so excited.
All right, just because I'm big and loud, I gotta hear.
Just ready to go. Yeah, I have the scissors in my
There's
hand.
always one little rule breaker. Isn't there?
He's
Yeah.
sneaking under it. Look at that. They just go crazy. There must have been 200 people there
Well,
that day. It was great.
what's that surface? What is that?
Yeah, so that's it's an artificial grass surface on part of this playground, and the committee had a couple of missions: inclusivity and AD accessibility. So that surfacing is there. It is right there. Yeah, it's just a kind of artificial turf with padding under it.
So yeah, and I remember being out there, and it's kind of a rubberized stuff underneath and then covered, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just great, and everybody's having a great time. We took the fence down, and they've been playing on it like crazy ever since.
Yeah.
Does that turf have turf turds?
No.
No turf turd, which is good because
Yeah.
you don't want they're a real hassle.
Yeah.
They're,
Yeah.
Like you got those all through your clothes, your shoes.
Yeah, stuck
It's a
about those
mess.
rubber pellets, yeah.
Yeah, turf
Yeah,
turds.
no.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, that was
stuff.
cool, and I know that. I mean, I took a picture of it when it was near completion.
Yeah.
And put it up on social media, and it just took off.
Yep.
Because people have so many opinions, and they weren't happy. Has the tide kind of turned a little
Well, I
bit?
was just going to say, it's funny that, I guess we don't have to call them haters, but after the playground was open,
Right.
I haven't heard one word of complaint from anybody.
Right.
Just the opposite. Lots of people have complimented it. It looks way better than we thought. It's so much fun. There's so much to do. I think parents appreciate that you can see through it now
Right.
versus the old playground. There were lots of hiding places for kids, and being
yeah.
a young parent by yourself there, maybe,
Yeah.
where'd my kid go, was
Right.
a real concern. So all those things, created a really successful project.
Good.
Similar to the, I guess the response was similar to the college stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Except for after the college stairs opened, everybody still
hated it,
because
yeah.
they had still, they didn't exactly bring the thunder with that
Yeah.
job.
No, this playground was lots of, and the other interesting thing, the more we looked into the comments that were negative, the more people didn't even live here. So
Right.
it was just people that maybe used to live here or just wanted to jump on.
No, those people are bored.
It's kind of, they
get bored.
I guess they have nothing else to do. But
Well, but again, it's like, my son doesn't live here, and if you're just
Right.
your initial reaction is,
Right.
why are you doing that? Why does everything have to change?
Yep.
And
Yep.
suddenly a 30-year-old becomes an old man because it's like, yeah,
Yeah, that's funny. And social media creates that, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
You don't have to go anywhere. You can do it from your couch or whatever.
or from your phone, or wherever. Yeah, it's like you're just right.
But in the end, I haven't heard anything. There's been a few minor glitches, over. Of course, there's a bolt that comes loose once in a while because it's used so much, and that's something we inspect all the time.
Right.
So we're constantly through there tightening things. New playgrounds do that. When you have bolts and metal, when you have shaking and wobbling, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So there's been no safety concerns. However, we're through there constantly repairing and making sure that it's still. And, that's just what you do with playgrounds in general. They constantly are a maintenance challenge.
So from a leadership standpoint, I'm, which I talk about a lot because a lot of it comes back to successful leadership. And in the case of this, it's a historical, although it's not that long. But it's got a tradition to it, and changing it is going to rile up particular emotions, and you bringing back some of the people that originally fundraised for that, and Jeff Cruz is a personal friend of mine, and at Rotary the other day he said, at first I was not happy about this, but then over the course of time, is there taking people through that process, if you were to go through a similar journey like this again, is there anything that you learned from this, like, I should have, I wish I could have done this a little bit differently, or it would have happened differently?
That's a good question. I think on the people side, no. I think that it was really successful. People were engaged, and there was a committee that stayed engaged the whole time through. They raised a ton of money, like I said. They were very supportive. They went through the aches and pains of social media and being a public official, just like I'm used to, but they aren't. So I think that one of the lessons is to maybe prepare them for that as we go through some of that emotional. People are mean online, and they're mean to the people who are volunteering as well.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the challenges. However, the biggest thing I learned is that I thought we could do this in a month. And no, it was more like 2 months. But
as far as construction, or
just construction, the timeline in my head was different. The playgrounds I've done in the past were maybe 25% of the size. So for me, we can do it in a week or two.
Yeah.
But that tower alone, that big tower in the background that we'll see when we put up the photos, took a week, 10 days itself, and that was 6 days faster than they've ever done it before. The contractors that we hired. So. Great contractors with a volunteer group and our crew. Amazing.
Yeah, and so how did that, you bought it from a company that designs this kind of stuff. Did they install it, or did they install it with volunteers? Talk to me about how that happened.
Yeah, they're just the vendor, so they're just the manufacturer. They customize it and sell it. It comes in trucks, and then from there, it's our problem, right?
Oh, really?
So,
yeah.
So we unloaded it, we unpackaged it. My crew did that, and then we did have a group of volunteers along with contractor that we hired to come out for 2 weeks. The contractor was what we could afford, so they were here for 2 weeks, and they got everything in the ground, as we call it. So everything was standing when they left, and that left us with the leveling of the site, the surfacing, the padding, all the stuff that goes into it after the fact. So the contractors were really helpful. The volunteers, incredible. We could have used a lot more. It would have gone faster, like I said. I think I underplanned that. However, the volunteers that came out were amazing. There were some that were there every day for 2 or 3 weeks. There were some that took weeks off of work. The fire department came over. The public works crew helped a lot. My crew, and it was just a team effort all the way around.
Yeah, good. Was there ever a point where it's like, wait a minute, when you're assembling, I can just imagine, I was assembling a little cabinet here the other day, and
Right.
I'm trying to put A to B, and, and
Yeah. Times 1,000, right? Like,
yeah. It's like, wait a minute.
There's
we
over-
put that piece in backwards, and it's
Yeah.
got to Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was 200 holes in the ground. There was, I don't know how many thousands of nuts and bolts. And
Yeah.
it's amazing. And then when you get it in place, just like when you're doing a cabinet, that hole just doesn't quite line up. How do you?
Right,
You know,
right.
so you like pry it this way and you tighten it,
Yeah.
and then there it is.
Yeah.
And another fun thing about that playground, there's a concrete casted tree guy, like Old Man Timber is what
Yeah.
they named him online on Facebook when we did the poll.
Yeah.
And we'll see that too. But there's only 2 of those in the country, and that was a custom piece that we did as kind of our foresty nature theme. So that's a fun little tree house. And there's just all these little fun little stories behind the scenes. But
Well, let's take a look at
Really
that. Show us some of those, Bennett, and just talk us through this, Stu.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's pre-construction, obviously early construction. This is what it looked like when the contractors left. As I said, everything was in the ground and ready for concrete, and then lots of site work still to do. Yep, and there comes the concrete. Special thanks to the concrete pumper company, which I'm so sorry I forgot your name. They donated the concrete pumper truck, and Artie Mack helped with the cost of concrete. There's that tree guy going into place. Yep, and here comes the surfacing. You can see that artificial turf going down with the padding underneath, that kind of honeycomb padding that locks in place. And Carpet One was really generous to donate their crew to come and lay the carpet. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're on to grand opening. And then the next slide. Yeah, there's that big tower in the background I talked about. That takes usually 2 weeks to put in, is what the contractors told us. We did it in about 5 or 6 days, and then another couple of days kind of tidying it up. Yeah, and this is kind of this is the 2 to 5 year old kind of section. Yeah, and then more of the nature theme, kind of the mushroom hoppers and bridges. And you can see the accessible merry-go-round kind of there in the background for wheelchair accessibility. Lots of climbers. Lots of kids mention there's so much to climb on.
Yeah. That's
We don't have
awesome.
any of those in town. So this is the first playground with these kind of cable climbers. Yeah, more of the net climbers. Just a cool nature theme. Oh, spoiler. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can go into this, but we had a conversation with CHD. They reached out in the springtime and said, we've got some funding for climate resiliency and public health. And so we talked about, what are the projects that Parks and Recreation has planned and what can we help with? So one of the projects in the Parks Master Plan was shade canopies or shade structures at Benton Park and I believe Candy Cane Park. So those are kind of on the left. If you guys see the green shade canopies, of course that's not here. That's a palm tree in the background. But ours are still in the box. But those will be going up in the next month or so at those 2 parks. And they're just shade canopies to help provide shade around kind of the playground picnic areas in those parks. And then to the right, you see these outdoor exercise stations, these fitness stations. We're going to adopt a European model, which means those fitness stations will be installed on the outside of the Riverside Playground, facing in, so you can work out while your kids play.
That's awesome.
So it's going to be a pretty unique amenity for LeGrand. Sometimes you've seen those along trails or pathways, those exercise stations, but the kind of the trendy newest model of that is borrowing from the European design of, parents want to work out and they've got sort of childcare on site. They're on the playground and they can see, like I talked about, they can see through the playground while they're working out and their kiddos are right there on the playground. So that's coming soon to Riverside Park. Those are at the shop, all those things, and ready to go in when the contractor has time. We'll get that scheduled in the next month or so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
And CHD was a huge partner in that. They purchased all that equipment for us.
All right.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So hey, Aaron Stanley, you're watching. I'm reading your comments. Get a pen and paper. My phone number is 541-786-0200. 786-0200. I'll be free here in a few minutes, and you can call me, and we can talk about what it is you're talking about. We'll see if you're as courageous in person as what you are online. I'd be happy to connect you with Stu. All of that to say, there is a volunteer position for you somewhere in this process. And what I find over and over again is people are critical until they really become aware, and they're not ignorant, okay? And, you know, you love to have you be a part of the process, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's my comment to everybody. Hey, come be a part of the process. Come help. We'd love to have your help and insight.
Well, and these are complicated things. People
Absolutely.
have no idea, and, you know, I mean,
Long-term planning.
yeah,
Lots of
15 years
behind-the-scenes.
ago,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I've been to all of the city council meetings in the last 15 years, and I just was unaware.
Yeah.
So, and it's complicated. So,
Yeah. A lot of behind the scenes that people don't quite understand. But,
yeah,
But all for good, right? All
Yeah.
to make the community a better place.
yeah. So, well, anything else? I mean, I'm trying to think of. I mean, the workout stuff. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah. It's just something that, you know, I feel like we set a lot of trends in LeGrand. We've got turf ball field infields. Nobody else in Eastern Oregon has that. Nobody else in Eastern Oregon, no municipality has an indoor swimming pool year round. You know,
Yeah.
people talk about, oh, the Pendleton pool is so great. It is for 3 months, but we have a 12-month indoor pool.
Yeah.
We have the amenities that are unbelievable for this size of community, and it's all because of the support of everybody, you know, of businesses, of volunteers, and people that are willing to help out and pitch in with their time and materials. You know, to build those turf infields, somebody donated an excavator and they operated it for 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, who does that, right? It's just incredible the community support I get, and we get as a city. So I'm really, really blessed to be here and to just be able to do all these great projects with the incredible community support. And it is emotional for some people.
Yeah.
Change is hard.
Yeah.
Right? And it can be very difficult.
So, in the what's next? Let's do the there's one more slide here.
There's
yeah.
one more, isn't there?
Yeah. So,
Yeah. So next is the splash pad, of course. So Riverside Park and the splash pad were kind of 1 and 1A of the priorities of the community when we did the parks master plan. So we'll start a similar process with the splash pad. Our vision is to rehabilitate the one at the pool. The fence will come down. We'll add some toys. We've already got some of the plumbing in place and the drainage, and it just makes sense to do it there. And I think once we take the fence down and that becomes a amenity for the summer, it will be wildly popular. Restrooms are a big priority for the community when we did the master plan as well. Candy Cane and Benton Park came to the top there as well. I have a plan for that. Those may or may not happen pending some grant funding that I'll apply for in November. And if we get funded, those will happen next spring, summer. We'll have restrooms at those two parks, which will be great for those kiddos that are out playing Little League baseball and soccer, that they can't hold it that long, you know. I mean, they gotta go.
yeah.
Well, I mean, at least they have outhouses there.
They
Like,
do.
you know,
Yeah,
honey
Little League
buckets
and
or
soccer
whatever.
rent those
Yeah.
for them. Yeah.
Could you imagine having games at Candy Cane and not having a
Yeah.
honey bucket though?
Not
Like, what
good.
would they do?
Not good.
No.
So yeah, and then the shade canopies we talked about. Sunny Hill, we'll have to get that one, but we've got the other two covered. These are the capital projects identified in the 5-year Parks Master Plan that was done in 22 or 3. So I think we've got a couple years to accomplish the rest, but the check marks are coming, and the splash pad hopefully will be summer of 27. Because it will take a year. We don't have a year-round construction season here, so you have to take those winter months out of the equation. So once we get some local support like we did already with the Riverside project, we'll apply for some of that, like you said, 50-50 match funding that we'll build the splash pad with.
Awesome.
So exciting stuff to come. And then finally the Sunny Hills Park Playground will be the next project for the playground replacement.
You can cut out of that slide, Benny.
So anyway, just I feel like there's always something new. I've been here 11 plus years, and I'm not bored.
Yeah.
There's always really cool projects. The phone rings every day. I never know what it's going to be, and I think most people are passionate about making this city a better place to live. And I'm really thankful for all the support that we've gotten over the years.
Yeah. Well, we're thrilled to have you. I mean, I've talked to you a while ago, and I mean, we talk all the time, but I appreciate our relationship. I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Yeah. Thanks.
You, and that is contagious always.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll look forward to hearing you in the fall football games.
Yeah.
In
yeah.
the audience,
Being
in the
excited.
crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gracie's a junior cheerleader, so I'll still be at the games, cheering her on.
So
cheering
you
them
like,
on,
so you do all the cheers with them.
Of course, yeah.
Of course.
I even went to cheer camp to learn them. I mean, I had to be a chaperone. I was the only male adult chaperone at the cheer camp, but I was in it to win it. Like, I got to learn the cheers so I can support them. And
Yeah.
they needed a parent to drive, is what happened. So
Yeah.
I was happy to do that.
Awesome.
But I'm excited for football too. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks always for
Yep.
being here. Yep.
Right on.
Always
Thanks, guys.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. Want to get us out of here?
Let's do it. On this day, August 26th, 1873, the first free kindergarten in the United States is started by Susan Blow in a suburb of St. Louis, Missouri. And then we're going to jump all the way to 2019 because nothing happened in between 1873 and 2019.
Nothing.
Johnson & Johnson's ordered to pay the state of Oklahoma $572 million in the first trial against an opioid manufacturer. 2023, on this day, the longest alligator ever recorded in Mississippi, 14 feet 3 inches and 802 pounds. Can you imagine an alligator that big? An alligator that more than double me.
Yeah.
More than double.
How many pounds?
802 and 14 feet 3 inches.
Goodness sakes.
That's a big that you don't got a sporting chance. You don't even have a chance. And yeah, no way. No. The number one song in America on this day 30 years ago in 1995, Kiss from a Rose by Seal. And then the quote of the day comes from Steve Martin. Be so good they can't ignore you. One more time. Be so good they can't ignore you.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys for being with us. Thank you, Stu.
Thanks, Stu.
Yeah.
you.
Always appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, and Thursday, Lieutenant Jason Hayes from the police department will be here. He'll be talking to us about
Cold cases.
different cold case podcasts, people that have interviewed him, and we'll be talking about that genre of stuff and then how that applies locally right here to LeGrand. So glad that you guys are here. We'll see you soon.
Thursday.